We are live. This is Mike and Clement, and
Hello.
we are to the millions and millions of viewers. We are just hijacking a website one pairing session to discuss a few algorithm stuff before we move to website one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I had just I've just stated a problem to Clement about a test that I did. So yeah. So that was the test. So I wasn't able to solve this because I did think and think and think and think and wasn't going anywhere. And then and then she changed the question. She said now you have a text like Mike is here. So write a function to convert this string to be, here is Mike, such that the first word gets to the last one and the last one moves
Reverse
yeah
words.
but yeah, you reverse the words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I pulled the Python magics of using the split, having the split, then calling reverse and and using the join. And then she said, "Oh, wait, hell no! You can't use
Yeah.
Python inbuilt functions."
That's
Yeah,
what that's what they want to see how you would actually do it. Or like how if you know the background behind those. Yeah. They
yeah,
can't not all Python magic, unfortunately.
yeah. And I'm glad she told me that rather than just keeping quiet and saying, "Okay, so this is how you do it," and judging me that I could not do it. So after she told me that, I went ahead and did it. So yeah, with uh, and she also insisted that you can't use you can't use extra space while doing it. Yeah, so you can't consume extra space, and then you can't you have to maintain the words. You can't reverse you can't reverse the words. You can't reverse the letters in the words.
Oh yeah. Because I mean,
Yeah,
otherwise you just reverse the. Yeah.
yeah,
Were you able to?
yeah,
What'd you come up with?
yeah. Actually, I came up with this thing of the Python slicing thing. So
Uh-huh.
I had to declare a different string variable,
Mm-hmm.
and on that string variable I would okay, I was iterating from the last element
Mm-hmm.
coming towards the first, and then whenever I hit a free space,
Mm-hmm.
I will like slice that word like so. So I would so while iterating I had I, so I would slice that word,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever I sliced I will assign to a new variable. So say I have variable m. Now I will assign this maybe sentence I this, then I will add a space to it, a free space, and then I will decrement the value of the length. I will
I
decrement the
see.
length of the, I will decrement the length of the string.
Okay.
So every time I just take this and add and increment the string by that, and then when the value of the string gets to 0, then I break.
Okay.
Yeah, break the iteration. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I did that, and I think she was happy about that.
Okay. Yeah.
And then explained the first question to me. Like she was expecting me to create a new stack. And okay, she was expecting me to have an extra stack, and whenever I'm adding a value on my main stack, I would check on my extra stack and see if the value that I'm about to add to my stack is less than the value that is in my other stack. So if the value is less, I will add the value in both this new stack and the old one that we want to use. That she was talking about, yeah. And then when someone wants the mean value, now you don't get it from this other stack, the main stack, you get it from the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think that was
yeah, that totally threw me off though. I wasn't able to get that. And then
wait, sorry, can you explain that one more time? Actually.
So maybe I share my screen.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I will pull up maybe a text editor.
Mm-hmm.
And or maybe I can just use VS Code. I think I still have my I think I still have my you I should yeah, what am I doing? I'm looking for VS Code. I should have VS Code open. I think it's this one. This is the one I want, yeah. So maybe I will have this this to be test maybe min value in stack.
Yeah.
So what she was saying, like you create 2 stacks. So one to hold the minimum value, and then one to hold all the values. And I think that's also what was not clear from her question. She did not tell me that the stack I will be starting with an empty stack, because she just said that you have a stack and it has these values. Lyra. It has these values 1, 2, 3, -4, 5, and you want the minimum value in this stack. And yeah, so she was saying you create 2 stacks, and when adding values to the stacks, you check if the value is less than the
Min value in the stack
yeah,
or the
the
empty stack.
how do I call it, the head, the
Yeah.
head of
Head.
the
Yeah.
of the min stack. Yeah, so you check if so you have two stacks. One is to track minimum values and one is to track the all to hold all the values. So when you want to add values to your main stack, you have two stacks, and then while you're adding values, you first check if the value you want to add is less than the value in the main stack. So if yes, you if yes, you add you add value to both stacks. So like the top the value at the top of each stacks will be that minimum value. If no, you'll you'll add the values to the only the main stack. So like if it's less, you leave the minimum value stack alone. You just add the value to the main stack, and when you want to get the minimum value, you just pick on the main stack.
Oh, okay. So, and this is constant time because.
Yeah, so like in this case, if we have 1, 2, 3, -4, and -5, this minimum stack will have 1 and -4. Because you first add 1. When you're adding 1, this is the minimum value. When you're adding 2, you check if 2 is less than 1. You find that it's more. You only add it here. When you're adding 3, you check if 3 is less than 1. And it's no, you add it here. When you're adding -4, you check if it's less than 1. Yes, you add it here and add it here. When you're adding 5, you check if 5 is less than -4, which it's not. Now you just pick on this. Yeah, so you can call it main stack. And call these main stack. Yeah, so this is what she was testing, if my brilliant brain could think about.
Yeah, this is I think I now that I think about it, I may have seen this problem before, but yeah,
okay.
It's definitely not intuitive. It definitely was not intuitive at all.
Yeah.
I think yeah, like if you had asked if you could have extra space, maybe, then like it's like, oh, you can create a whole other stack then.
Yeah, I did not. Yeah, I did not ask about the space.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a. I guess it's kind of like an. It's like yeah. I would need a lot of background on this question just because. Yeah, like if you think the main stack already exists, and then like you can't really like modify it, then like I'm not sure if it's clear how you get an O of 1 time.
Yeah, because I think what she specified was only that you want to do this in an order of 1, and you know that's what threw me off. Like I know if you want to get the minimum value, you want to pop and pop and pop and pop everything, and store the minimum value that you get while popping in a variable, and keep comparing it until you. Now she wants it in the order of 1, and I could not think of this. So yeah, I think I missed that. But then she gave me the second question, which was with the words, the one I just showed you. And then the second guy, Mark, is called Mark Stafford.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so him, I think he just asked me if I had a project on GitHub, and picked yeah, he picked something to ask me questions about, and yeah, so I could explain to him some code that I've worked on recently.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
What project did
he
you
was
pick?
like, how he started it was like, so this works in two ways. First, either you have code on GitHub and you show me where to find it, and I ask you questions about that code. And two is I give you a question to do. So what do you like? Then I told him like, you choose. Then he chose GitHub. And then yeah, he went and picked a random project, and actually he picked the Symfonids client, the React one.
Oh,
And yeah, we had just had a discussion on how things are going, the setup and all that stuff, and how we collaborate with the guys we work with and all that stuff. And I think that was cool. And then I think the third guy had this question, like you have 3D array.
Oh, you called it.
It's not a 3D array, a 2D array. Let me just show you. Where's this thing? This is the guy I'm looking for. So you have a 2D array, and the 2D array has it's an array of n, and then you have values of zeros and ones. And the challenge is, say, let's make it since I've started with 4. So I can have this as 0. I can have this as 1.
Oh, is it only ones and zeros?
Yeah, it's an array of ones and zeros. So I can have this as 0. Yeah, and then so he's saying in this array, whenever you meet a 1, so I think the array, let me just make it look like this. So traverse through this array. You meet a 1, you convert the row and the column to ones. So I think you should iterate through it, and then when you meet a 1, like here you get a 1, you'll end up having this 1 1 1, and this also you convert to ones. And then when you meet this, this was the other one, you convert everything here to ones.
So only the original ones.
Yeah, when you meet the original ones, only you convert everything to 1 1, and this also converts to 1 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Which was an interesting challenge. And
yeah, because you're like, I'm assuming you're modifying in place. So
just a moment, I exchanged my headphones.
Oh, no worries.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nice.
Yeah. Uh,
But I can also hear me.
Let me remove this, and let it load one. Yeah. My speakers are normally so bad, so when this guy doesn't connect, I suffer. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so it's showing that it's connected yet. It's not. Or maybe I
No.
need to come here. Maybe I need to come here. And yeah, I think we are good.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think on that the challenge was without using extra memory as well.
Yeah. In place. That's what I was guessing.
Yeah, in place. Yeah, I did not know of that. I did not know of the in place thing.
I'm just curious.
So,
Did they tell you like what the requirements were like at the beginning or like in the middle of
no,
when you were trying to think? Okay.
no, like they query you as you do your stuff.
Uh-huh.
So like this, I think I just created an array of tuples that I will track. So I iterated through the array,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever I met a one, I created an array of tuples
Mm-hmm.
that I will track the row and column.
Mm.
Yeah. So whenever I got that, I tracked the row and column. And then after which I will iterate through this and do
And then fill them in.
fill them in. And then after I did that, he asked me like like he had me saying that I was concerned about the space
Uh-huh.
because I was saying if in the first iteration everything is one,
Uh-huh.
if during the first iteration everything is one,
Mm-hmm.
My array will be order of n squared, like
Yeah.
the size.
Yeah.
The size of my array will be the order of n squared, and
Mhm.
then if everything is one, whatever I had created will run and try to convert everything to one again, like it will run needlessly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he asked me how will you resolve that, and I told him that I will do a count of the number of ones that I'm getting,
Uh-huh.
and then after the iteration, I will compare if the count is equal to the number of the count equals the n by n matrix, like n times n.
Uh-huh.
Like if I have this as 16, if I have the count of ones as 16,
Yeah, yeah.
I will not struggle iterating through that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, but and then he told me do you have any way such that you won't be using this extra array that you're creating? it being an order of n squared in space,
Mhm.
and I was like, man, what is this guy talking about?
I think
And
what he's I
yeah,
think what he yeah, I think what he was trying to say is this definitely it could like the worst case scenario of this of what you came up with was n squared in time and space. And then
yeah,
the concern was that I guess his bigger concern was probably the space.
yeah,
And then like if we could do something without that array, like if we could find another way to do it without the array.
hmm
And then I think guess his assumption that he may or may not have stated was that the input array, I mean, it array is an n squared, but I mean, and
yeah,
like the time complexity of this, unless we do some weird math trick, I think doesn't go below n squared because we still have to
yeah,
look through the entire array, but then we can save on the space somehow.
uh-huh.
Yeah. So I guess
Yeah.
that's what he was saying.
Even gave me a hint saying that it's like I give you a bag which is not full, and when you have that bag and I give you some things to carry around, and you feel like this bag is not full, what do you do with it? Then I'm like, I put it in the bag. and I think there he was trying to hint about the in place tracking of it.
Uh huh.
Yeah, like he meant that this whole thing is the bug, and he wants me to he wants me to track the ones inside the same bug that I had, but
Oh
I
yeah.
had not. Yeah, I had not faced the in place storage concept before, so I just struggled, and I challenged him to tell me that. And he told me that what you will do is like you will use these first rows. Um, you will use like whenever you encounter one, you can trust this row and the first row and the first column. So yeah, whenever you encounter one, you'll make sure that this row has a one. So that time when you'll be iterating, you'll be sure that you will not have corrupted whatever zeros were inside here, and you will use these as a way to you will know that this wanted you to, if for example this array was this way, it was 0 0 0 0 0, and we had this one here. So he said that because this place was 0 as well in the initial way we had it, right? Yeah. So he said that when you encounter one here, on this cell you put a 1, on this cell you put a 1, and then later, yeah, later when you'll be iterating through this array, you'll know that I needed to put ones on this column and I needed to put ones on this row. And the next time you encounter one, for example, let's say this is a 0 and this is a 0 and this is a 1 and this is a 0. So whenever you encounter a 1 here, this one,
Yeah.
you come and do a 1 here, and do another one here.
Okay, so you always pick the top and left. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can trust that that will not corrupt whatever values that you had inside here. And yeah, just a minute, I have a phone call. Love it. Where go Johnny? Take a chair. Yeah, and that will like sort the values. Yeah, I did not score that though, the in place storage.
Yeah. Oh, that's a tricky one as well. What
Yeah.
if wait, what if there's a
Hello.
What if you encounter a 1 like in the leftmost column though? Like where would you store?
What if? Yeah, when you find a 1 here, you'll store 1 here.
Store 1
And
there?
leave this 1 here. Yeah, you'll have 1
Okay.
on this. Yeah, but that's because
Oh, so you
this,
store 1 at
when
the
you're
top.
iterating,
Okay.
you could, yeah, at the top would mean, but you wouldn't know if this one means you need to change this one as well.
Yeah. But then you've iterated past that by then. So
Yeah, maybe come to think of it, you should have this as -1.
no, I think I mean if you could just mark them differently, then I mean it would be like more, it would be trivial, I think. I think the point is you can only use zeros and ones.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
So you would,
but having a 1 here will mean that maybe at the first, in the first iteration, we had a 1 here,
uh-huh.
and this is not the case.
Uh-huh.
Like we just found a 1 here,
Yeah.
and for example, we found a 1 here,
Uh-huh.
and return this to 1.
Yep.
This would mean like either you had this 1 here initially, and it would mean you want to change this as well,
Uh-huh.
or this was a 0, and you found the 1 here. Now you just want to change this.
Yeah. No, I think to build this out a little, I think this might work because I think you iterate through and then you always only change things that are behind you in terms of iteration.
Yeah.
So then that when you come back again, you are sure that all you need to do is fill in the existing 1 rows. Like I think, for example, if you had like if you had an matrix that only the bottom left corner was 1, then you would mark, I believe you would mark the 1 on top, and then from there you would go again, and then you would see that actually, wait, no, this doesn't seem to
Yeah.
that's still a little fuzzy. Never mind. Yeah, this one's tricky.
Yeah.
Wait, so but then the gist of the solution was mark the 1s and then go through it again, or what was that the solution? Or
yeah, mark the 1s and then go through it again.
Oh.
So in that, your complexity will be order of n squared, because you'd have the first iteration n squared and the second iteration n squared, which is 2n squared, which is insignificant. So it will just mean n squared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
we would definitely need to parse it at least once. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other one was to use this. So yeah. So that was that, and I don't know why I'm opening Chromium. And then the last question was the guy with the interfaces thing. So I think that guy, is the most senior of the guys who interviewed me. And I think in the list that I've shared with you is Sergey or someone. Sergey. I think he's the most.
Soljanik.
Yeah. He's I think he's in his early or late 50s. And he looks like he's been doing computers for as long as he can remember. And
Yeah.
the only thing that he understands is the real OOP of C# and Java. So
Wow.
and with him, he wasn't good with like giving you the problem. He's one of these guys who does not speak well articulatively. And yeah, I think his delivery on asking the question wasn't so good, and he had specific things that he wanted. But how I understood his problem, which I wasn't so sure about, so he's saying that you have streams of data that has millions, hundreds of thousands of petabytes of data. And this stream is a stream of integers. So you have streams of integers, and you can have like hundreds of thousands of streams. And these streams, they have hundreds of thousands of petabytes of data. And these streams, they are ordered. They are ordered in a given manner, like they are ordered in ascending. Yeah, the little girl fire. In an ascending order. And when you receive these streams, you are supposed to write them to another stream and maintain the order.
Maintain the ordering?
Yeah. So say you receive 10 streams. For example, you receive 10 streams. And these 10 streams, maybe they all are starting with 1, 2, 3. And the other one also has 1, 2, 3. And the other one also has 1, 2, 3. Say you have 10 streams and so on. So the stream that you are going to have will be 1, 1, 1, and 2, 2, 2, and 3, 3, 3, and so on. And you can't read from this stream. The only thing you can do is listen to these streams and get the data and write it here. And it maintains the order. And the streams can come at different times. So when you receive like another stream, in case you're just receiving 3 streams and then they add another 4th stream, and the 4th stream has another 1, 2, 3, you need to be having this one here, 1, then 2 will come here. Yeah. And then you need a 3rd. Yeah, something of the sort. And then his instructions were actually he just told me to draw the first task is for you to draw an abstraction. Before you start coding everything, just draw an abstraction of the stream class, which will have 2 methods, and those 2 methods are end of file that states that you've reached the end of the stream, and the other method was read, and then you do another class stream write, I think write stream that just has the method write. So in his words, it was like draw an abstraction of the stream class that has 2 functions, end of file and read, and has a right stream class that has a function right. So when you said draw an abstraction, I totally did not understand what drawing an abstraction meant. So I went explaining whatever he has just said to me, telling him I will have a class and this class will have a read function. And so I was just doing comments like I'm showing you right now.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, but those are not classes. And I then created a class of I created a class of stream with end of file and read and write stream. And he asked me like, those are not abstract classes. And I was like, this guy means that I should be writing abstract classes. Then I told him we don't have abstract classes implementation in Python, and he was like, you know Java, you can do Java. Use Java. And yeah, and I did not remember how to declare an abstract class in Java. And you can
You just
then
use the
he
abstract
mentioned,
keyword. Yeah.
yeah, I think he mentioned like I think you should be doing interfaces or abstract classes. And I did not remember how I can declare an interface with Java. And I created a class, and I was creating a class, maybe, and then I was saying that it extends an interface or something because I didn't know that you use the interface keyword.
Oh yeah.
Then he corrected me that I should be using the interface keyword, and I remembered, and now I remember that the interface should only have functions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should only have functions, and it doesn't have a constructor, and another class will implement it. And I just scribbled that off. I'm not sure even if I did the correct syntax with the Java class, because I just did. Yeah, I just created an interface stream and added these functions in within. Then I remembered, I don't know whether it's supposed to have a private function or a public function, so I just did public void
Yeah.
function. I don't know whether they have a function keyword or they don't, so I just did public void function and read and gave the signature. And did the one for the end of file, and then did the other stream. And then now after that he told me, now you can write your merge function. Now you can write your merge functions to
to actually
merge
do the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, actually do the thing. And every time I was trying to I don't know, there's a moment I mentioned that since these are integers, I will receive them as integers or something. I told him that I wanted to use a min heap. I wanted to use a min heap while reading this stuff.
Yeah.
So that when I get a min heap and it compares the two things. If it's greater, it comes on this side. It comes on the left, on the right. If it's less, it comes on the left. If it's minimum, you do the swap, and you change. Not really doing the swap, but yeah, all that stuff about min heap. And he told me, these are petabytes of data. Your computer is crashed.
Yeah. In place.
Your computer is crashed. Yeah, you're doing a min heap. And what's your complexity and all that? Your computer is already crashed. And I'm like, what does this guy want me to do? What the fuck do you want me to do? And he was not nice enough to tell me what he wanted me to do. So like he was just typing on his computer, and I was just trying to do things, and he will only notice when I made a mistake on the stuff, like a moment when I would assign a string to an integer, like with Java how you must do int I, and
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
the int I will always be an int, and you can't do that assignment, all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he will only notice, but you're assigning a string to an integer and you've not even typecasted that string.
Oh,
Yeah, so yeah, he
that's
just gave me hell.
yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't nice. He wasn't even nice enough to tell me like, okay, now this was the question and this was what I expected you to do. And yeah, I think that was it. And I don't know if anyone will hack that problem. I don't know. Like going later when I was googling, I saw that in Java there's this stream ordering algorithms.
String what algorithms?
Stream ordering stream.
Oh, stream ordering algorithms. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if those are what he was testing or something, but yeah, I still don't have a clue what this question was about.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess yeah, I guess some initial thoughts I had about this question are like I guess we're kind of like in a sense almost like merge sorting
Yeah.
this, but like we need well-defined interfaces because otherwise the memory can get like really big. So
Mhm.
like we need to figure out some sort of way to be able to compare across
What do you need? What do you mean well-defined interfaces?
or like sorry, yeah, I'm also not very clear on interfaces and abstractions, but I guess like our abstraction boundaries have to be like very clear. Like we have to make
Mm-hmm.
sure like, oh, like when we like get this, accept this stream, we have to like pass it in through these functions, and then essentially we have to make sure that everything is like well defined, and like there's no like essentially with petabytes of data we have to do something in constant time to like be able to build this stream, and or not constant time, constant memory, constant space,
Yeah.
and then yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, this is an interesting question, but yeah, without hints it seems like a very a very hard, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The question is not even interesting to me.
Oh yeah,
It's just um.
yeah, it's very engineering type.
Yeah. Um. And I think it's nice. It would have been nice if I left the room if he had maybe told me what he was trying to get me do. But I think he wasn't interested in that. He was like interested in seeing you suffer. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's hard. It's
yeah,
yeah, I think it's, yeah, this is probably like a combination of a design and then algorithm question, kind of,
yeah,
where the design is building those abstractions and interfaces. I mean, at least you were able to get out that like uh, you were able to get out at least that you're not super familiar with Java, so at least some of it's excusable, kind of. Hopefully.
yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I think is yeah. This was a difficult one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe yeah. I think that was it about the questions, and yeah.
Yeah. Actually, could I ask you a little bit about the the code review, kind of like they did on Synchrony?
Yeah.
So they just like open.
Yeah, so I think he asked me my GitHub account, and I told him, and I think the very first thing that was coming out was Symfonids. I think when he looked at the repositories, I think there was this data structures thing, and then this was coming next, and then he clicked on it, and he came to pull requests
Uh-huh.
and
Oh.
filtered
Okay.
with the author.
Ah.
And when he filtered, okay, he first filtered, and then I told him this is not the main repo, it doesn't have everything. And
Oh.
then I told him go to the main repo here, and then he came to the pull requests again, and filtered by the author, and looked at the closed ones, and just scrolled down. I think he opened this one first,
Uh-huh.
and went to the files change and asked me to explain what I was doing here,
Okay.
and then went back and looked at the pull requests again. Just a minute.
No worries.
Yeah, so he looked at the closed ones again and scrolled down, and I think he noticed the simple API fetch from backend.
Uh-huh.
Where is that? I think I can't even see it now. But I think guys from the US, like, they read stuff so fast, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's something about them, like you're just able to look and read. Yeah, so simple. Then he picked this one and came to the files change and started looking at the code and asking questions. What's happening here? What are you doing? What's happening here? What are you doing? What's this? And why are you mocking this way? What's this? Why are you doing this weight thing? And what is this component did mount? Take me, what are React lifecycle methods and all that. So we just had a discussion. He just like, he will see something and like query about it, like yeah, what's a provider, like what are these, like you will just keep asking questions and asking questions and asking questions. Yeah, and I think that's how he did. And yeah, and I think he asked me like, why am I saying that Python is my first language, yet I don't have so much stuff with Python on my GitHub.
Ah.
Yeah.
And
Then I told him I use Python mostly for private closed projects, so they're not open. They're not
Yeah.
open here.
I see.
Yeah, I was lucky. I was lucky he didn't tell me like, can you access your private repos and show me this stuff? And yeah.
I think
So
I think it's fair to say you only use it for interviewing, because I mean, like Ruby or whatever or JavaScript is still kind of like there's so much weird stuff about JavaScript. It's like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah.
It was a good experience though.
Yeah.
And I met guys guys like I will never have dreamt of meeting, you know.
Yeah.
These guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that guy is called Shannon
Shannon
Ko.
Go. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy, he graduated, is principal group software engineering manager.
Okay.
He graduated from, he's been in with Microsoft since 2008, 11 years. 11 years.
Wow.
He did his PhD University of New South Wales. This is
PhD.
in
Wow.
Yeah, in
Wow.
Australia.
Australia.
I,
Wow.
I used to follow this guy called Professor. Um, there was this professor from the University of New South Wales.
Hmm.
He was called Professor. I can't remember his name, but he has very good data structures um, videos on YouTube from his classes with the University of New South Wales.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's when I knew this university, and yeah, I think it's in Australia. It's a very uh, what is the name of this guy? Professor. Uh, I can't remember. I think if I remember,
It's
I'll send you
yeah.
the link.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think
yeah.
I looked up the stat question in the very beginning, and I think there's some math stuff that both of us forgot about to get it down to O1 extra space. I can send you the link on Slack, um,
Okay.
but not sure if it's worth discussing just because it's. I think it's still pretty unintuitive, and this is like the fourth time I think I've seen this question.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, okay. Also, I may have to move locations real quick.
Okay, that's
Or
fine.
not, maybe not like real quick, like maybe like 10, 15 minutes.
That's fine.
So yeah, maybe
Uh,
we can break real quick and then come back.
okay, sure.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, sounds like an ordeal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Alrighty. Yeah. All right. See you in a bit.
All right.
Um,